Hey, it's Walt with One Fall WrestleCast. We got some stuff to talk, that's for sure. Derek, however, will not be joining us. He uh he picked work over us. That's what happened. He picked work over us. It's very unfortunate. Anywho, Crown Jewel happened this past weekend. We're gonna go ahead and dive into that a little bit. Also, the Elite have been teasing their return to AEW. Did Colt Cabana making an appearance on AEW television this week cement the fact that CM Punk is gone? I'm sure we're going to find out eventually, but right outside of the flip, we are going to talk about the biggest news in professional wrestling that happened today. And that is Nick Aldis is a free agent as of end of year, has given his notice to the NWA. Can't wait to jump into that one.
Welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast.
What's up, dude? How we doing?
Hey yo.
Hey yo.
Nothing's up. It feels lonely in these windows, but otherwise,
Yeah, it's kind of weird being where I'm at. I'm used to always being at the bottom there. So
yeah, it's weird in the windows.
It is what it is. Maybe we'll just give ourselves a little bit of switch
flair.
over, and it won't feel so strange, huh?
A little bit of champ flair.
Yeah, I see you back there, and on the.
I'm not actually the champ. I just I switched it, so I felt like it actually made my work laptop more into
that's fair.
If you didn't notice, there's some new things in the office.
I noticed that you have a new flannel.
There's a new flannel for the season.
That's very Derek-like.
Well, so the new flannel serves two purposes. One, when first I bought the flannel and it was cold for a day, and then it became 80 again.
Yes.
But when it's cold in the morning, it's just nice to have a flannel to throw on.
Yeah, I just always wear a hoodie because
I like things that I can take off this way. So it's either a zip hoodie, which I can never find one that I like.
This, brother.
Yeah, it's just I got too much Hulk Hogan in me.
Yeah.
And also over here we got the new practice amp, the new updated, the new improved Fender Mustang practice amp, so I can sit here and learn some tunes in the office, which is nice. I had a kind of weird computer / loudspeaker setup. It just wasn't working out for me, and I was like, you know what? Guitar Center would love to have this stuff, and I would love to have a $150 practice amp made by Fender, because everything I have is a Fender product for the most. All my guitars, except for one or two, are Fender guitars, and I'm like, let's just complete the circle, put it in here. It sounds great. I tweaked it a little bit, and now I got all the tones I need, and I can just sit here and learn music. And look how beautiful it looks. Look how pretty it looks.
It's better than a fake Xbox refrigerator with a fucking snack rack.
I do kind of want that.
Hey guys, I had to take the snack rack out.
The snack racks are they're actually in the door.
In there, huh? Yep. Snack rack.
Cheers to Derek and his pints.
Derek's here. He's here in spirit. He said the flannel is more versatile than it gets credit for. Nobody cares about your opinion, pal. Okay.
So, truth to Derek, I do put that on because I'm generally wearing wrestling t-shirts, and when I have to be on a Zoom call, I've taken to doing my hair in the morning now because more people want me to be on get on camera, and I'm like, all right, fine. So I do my hair up in the morning, I look like a real fucking dapper, and I get my beard all nice, and then I just throw the flannel on, and I come on, and people are like. They clutch their pearls as to how gorgeous of a human being I am. So I grace all of you with my gorgeous presence every week on YouTube. At
Sometimes 2 or 3 times a week, depending on what you got going on over at Throws and Brews.
Sometimes it depends. It depends on who sends me yo-yos, and it depends on how much I feel like playing with yo-yo, or if I get like an itch to like to either talk about something or like be upset about something. I may have an itch because my friend Gentry Stein was talking about how we have another yo-yo boom, and although I'm pretty sure I've made a video on this some point in the last 5 years, I wish. Remember when you used to be able to reply to YouTube videos with a video?
Yeah.
That was, I mean, this was probably pre-Google buyout, but I wish we could do that. But I'm going to try to talk to Gentry into like merge. I don't know, doing something, because I agree we need another yo-yo boom, because I want to go to the store and buy a yo-yo, which I haven't been able to do since I was in middle school, and I could beg my parents. Yeah, Novelty Plus, the Novelty store. He used to have the Omega Fireballs, as did if
they had all kinds of Omega stuff.
If you were lucky enough to have your mom take you to the actually the only one that existed at the time was the Toys R Us in the Ohio
Beaver
Valley
Falls.
Mall.
Beaver Falls.
That one too. Beaver Falls and Ohio Valley Mall, which were both a solid hour plus away.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. But during Christmas that year, like my mom always made a trip to the Ohio Valley Mall. One. And I begged her to bring me. I had my like $20, which was all I had as a like a 12-year-old or an 11-year-old. I had $20. Please, Mom, let me come with you and let's go to Toys R Us. I need to buy a Omega Fireball. Now I did break that motherfucker 6 months after I bought it, but that was an original USA Omega Fireball. I should get another USA one. They've been making them in China and they're way shittier now. I should seek out a OG unopened US. That's a story for a different show, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk about wrestling.
I would love to climb, fall down the yo-yo string, so to speak. But we've got to climb in between these ropes. And hey, if you're here with us right now, please hit the like button. We would greatly appreciate that. As a matter of fact, the biggest news of the week broke today. Nick Aldis has given notice to NWA and Billy Corgan and said, hey, man, I'm done. And then immediately after, he was suspended by NWA. And it said something along the lines of, due to Nick Aldis' recent comments about the National Wrestling Alliance, we have decided to suspend him for 90 days, which just so happens to be the length of his contract. Interesting, if I must say so myself. It's kind of funny though, because like we talked about Nick Aldis a few months ago. Might have actually been like maybe 5 weeks ago. We talked about Nick Aldis and possibly joining WWE and what that would look like. Man, it feels like we are closer to that now more than we will ever be in our entire lives. And as a matter of fact, if you missed it before you get rolling here, bud, unless you missed it, he also had a little back and forth Twitter exchange kind of hinting at the fact that he is planning on going to WWE, because some user said, man, I never realized that I needed an at Killer Cross versus at Nick Aldis.
I would have never thought that was what I needed, because I don't know that I need that.
Until today. And Karrion Kross said, I'm in. And Nick Aldis replied to that and said, I'm game. So is that an implication? Hey, this is what I'm trying to do? Or is that just to get us smart marks all fired up and get our little, get a little creamy cream going?
So let me get creamy with you. There would be nothing that I don't know that there's a signing that would make me happier than Nick Aldis in the WWE.
Most underrated performer in the entirety of professional wrestling.
I mean, the guy is huge, right? I mean, we're talking about a guy that's like 6'3", 6'4".
I think he's like 6'2", 6'3", yeah.
But still,
I mean, he's built like a brick shithouse.
Built like a brick shithouse. Like, the guy looks like Ivan Drago from fucking Rocky 4. right?
He looks like a proper gentleman. That's what he looks
A
like.
proper gentleman. If
$1
Ivan
billion.
Drago was a proper gentleman, we're looking at Nick Aldis, right? Now the guy can go like
he's a fucking national treasure, pal.
Holy, you want to talk about a guy who's like a professional wrestling, like just like a guy who is an underrated technical, just pro wrestling performer of the like on the level of like the classic.
Yeah. He's got a definite old school vibe to him, and I love everything about it.
I mean, a guy that can work, a worker, a worker's worker, right? Guys who are like who really pride themselves in being top tier workers, top tier work rate guys, look to Nick Aldis and go, yeah, he's one of us.
Psychology's on point. His mannerisms are on point. Like he does not.
Promos are on point.
Promos are, yeah, absolutely.
He's the like better version of what's his face? He's on commentary now. Stu Bennett, he's the better Stu Bennett. Whatever they call him in WWF, but yeah, Wade Barrett. There we go. He's the better Wade Barrett.
I mean,
he really
come on. No. I got some bad news for you.
No, he's better Wade Barrett.
How could you not be into that, man? Shit.
Listen,
although I love the dude on commentary.
I'm not shitting on Wade Barrett. I'm just saying
like the adobo pack on the potatoes. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I'm not shitting on Wade Barrett. I'm just saying that Nick Aldis is the better version.
Yeah, but I don't want Nick Aldis to be on commentary.
No, I don't want Nick Aldis to be. I want Nick Aldis to wrestle.
Well, then how the fuck did we start talking about Bad News Barrett?
I don't know, because Bad News Barrett back in the day was like
what a terrible.
Okay, fine, bad comparison. It's just because they're British. Pal. They're both British.
Oh, so you profiled?
I mean, yes.
Profiling is wrong.
If we're talking about British people, I'm going to profile them. Sorry, my bad.
I didn't mean to derail you, man. You know, I don't have Derek to pick on tonight, so I got kind of, keep it loosey-goosey, you know.
Gotta keep it creamy with me, bro. Anyway, sure. So to put things into perspective, do I want to see Nick Aldis in WWE? Oh my God, yes. Because immediately, I because one, it's his contract, he's done in January, right? So immediately,
well, I'm seeing some conflicting reports. Some are saying he's done in the end of January 23, and some are saying that he's done December 31st, 22.
Everything I've seen leads to December 31st. That's what I've seen. But so just humor me for a minute on the December 31st thing. That puts him in line to show up, have a nice couple of weeks off, train, do what he needs to do, shake the hands, kiss the babies,
bang his wife with the garbage bag.
Yeah, do whatever he needs to do and show up at ye old Royal Rumble, where two glorious things can happen.
He's things come out at number 3.
Well, but okay, so one, he can have a little standoff with Cody Rhodes at some point in that Rumble. They don't have to but literally the last time before Cardona won the NWA World Title, and that became a big thing on the internet. The last time the NWA World Title meant shit was when Nick Aldis and Cody Rhodes sort of feuded over it and hot potatoed it a little bit, but that was the last time it was a real big deal. Absolutely. Those matches were real important, and they were a real big deal. And I mean, this is pre AEW stuff. So one, he and Cody can sort of have a little rekindling for us smart marks, where they have a little standoff, a little eye to eye, a little face to face. It doesn't need to be a big thing. It just needs to be enough. They need to be in the ring together, see each other, maybe lock up a little bit, do some stuff. Number 2, the number 1 guy I want to see, and I actually taught my buddy at the beer store I saw today. I said this
beer
to him
here.
Today. Yeah. I said this to him today. The first feud I want to see Nick Aldis have is with Seth Rollins. And the way I want it to start is I want he and Seth Rollins to try to beat the crap out of each other in the Royal Rumble and to go over the top rope at the same time.
Okay.
And have that fire off a feud betwixt the two of them. I don't care if they feud over the Seth's still probably going to be the U.S. champ at that point in time. if they feud over the U.S. champ, and that's a WrestleMania match. That's a big card WrestleMania match to me. If you're asking me, so there's
Absolutely.
that. Have him and Cody see eye to eye for a little bit, square up a little bit. Have he and Seth tumble over the top rope after having a bout together in the midst of, because the thing of the Rumble is it's not about who wins the Rumble. It's about the little storylines that happen within the Rumble and how many little fires can you light during the Rumble. And I think those two particularly are just, if we're talking about Nick Aldis coming to WWE, those would just be delicious. That's what we'd be talking about. That and whomever wins, but that would be,
maybe he wins.
Probably not. But
I mean, hey,
weirder things have happened.
And listen, this is not Vince's WWE anymore, pal. And we've got to take a look at what the Royal Rumble is going to look like come January. Because it's had a formula, right? Like 1 and 2 are always like underdogs or fan favorites or somebody like that, right? Number 3 is always like a debuting superstar or like a Hall of Famer or something like that. Then that 13 spot's usually a big man like Braun Strowman comes, cleans the ring out. Like it's been very formulaic, right? Yeah. Like what's that going to look like this year?
Well, I mean, I think you have to remember a lot of that too, especially in recent formulaicness, was Triple H setting it up, but also lighting those little fires. And he wasn't there in this past year. And that was, I think we all agree that like this past year was probably the worst Rumble we've seen since the 90s. Right. It was likely the worst Rumble since one of the weird ones in the 90s that were stupid anyway. Except for the one that Ric Flair won starting at number 1, which was amazing. He
was number 2.
Whatever.
He was number 2. The first person to win the Royal Rumble from number 1 was Shawn Michaels when he skinned the cat, knocked the bulldog off the thing. Yeah. Don't you goddamn disrespect.
Okay, all right. Look,
Shawn Michaels.
How is number 1 and number 2 not the same person, not the same thing? Because what are you going to be number 1 and eliminate yourself?
Okay, and actually, I might even be wrong. Ric Flair might have been number 3 in that Royal Rumble in '92 when he won the championship.
He was 1 or 2. I'm almost certain.
I'm willing to put money he was number 3.
Almost certain, but okay.
Hit the Google, pal. Hit the Google, pal.
Anyway,
I want to see the look on your face when I'm right, bud.
Ric Flair Royal Rumble '92.
Number 3, calling it. Defeat. Just washed over you.
You're right. He was number 3. Number one, British Bulldog. Number 2, Ted DiBiase. Number 3, Ric Flair.
Money.
Number 4, Jerry Saggs.
Oh my God, the Nasty Boys.
Nasty Boys.
Listen, we need a tag team like the Nasty Boys in 2022.
God, just gross, we really do. I mean, I feel like we've needed that for a while. But man, yeah, we could.
They were so good though.
I mean, they were the most terrible looking humans.
Yeah,
ever.
Absolutely.
And they got the worst haircuts ever, every day. That was like they had fresh haircuts every day, and it looked like shit every day. It was like, did a drunk man? No, it couldn't have been. You did this on purpose. It was like so symmetrical and like clean lines and stuff, but it looked so terrible.
Yeah,
like, somebody that knew what they were doing cut your hair to look just fucking awful, and you look like this every day.
Yeah.
You couldn't even put a hat on. They couldn't even put hats on to like cover that up. It looked like shit whether you had a hat on. You could have put like a fucking ninja mask.
Hey bro, I got news for you. Okay. Brian Knobbs and Jerry Saggs did not give a fuck if they looked horrible.
I don't think they
were paid, and that's all that mattered, right?
I mean,
but you know who does give a fuck what he looks like is Nick Aldis, man. Like that dude looks like $1 million, right?
Oh my God,
it's like the fact that he like instantly implied that he was, WWE has got it's. I wish Derek was here because all the little AEW fanboys are probably all fucking churned up. Like, Oh my God. Could you believe Nick Aldis and WWE? They wouldn't know what to do with him. They wouldn't know what to do with
They
him.
know exactly what to
They'd
do with
ruin Nick Aldis. He wouldn't. Right? It's like, no, motherfucker. He understands that if he goes to AEW, he's going to see 10 minutes of television every month.
Yeah. And if he goes to WWE, he'll probably be in a program with either Seth Rollins or with Finn Balor. Like that'll be the first program he gets to be in.
I'm on board with Rollins. I think that's where it needs to be.
I really think that's the way. I think the onboard. I think Seth Rollins is the onboard guy. Unless you want to like throw a curveball and be like, do a like you get to be like here with because he's a tall guy, like Baron Corbin, right? Like
Yeah.
that's maybe the curveball.
Yeah, Baron Corbin's like 6'6" though.
He's a big guy.
Yeah,
he might. But at the same
JBL
time,
hasn't lost a step.
no, he's got better pants on tonight. Because you remember the day he walked out with like those ridiculously huge pants. Like, where did you pull those? Where did those pants come from, Jake? And why did you look at these and go, "Yeah, I'm going to walk out on national television wearing these pants"? Nobody wears pants baggy like that.
Hey, so did you watch Crown Jewel? Huh? Did
Yeah.
you watch Blood Money?
Did you watch Crown Jewel? I watched Crown Jewel. I watched the whole damn thing.
Did you watch it when it was live, or did you watch it like the next day?
So I watched yes, and here's why. Because I turned it on.
I asked 2 questions, and you answered yes.
All right, so I turned it on live because I saw on Twitter that they were starting off. They were starting off with Brock versus Bobby Lashley, and I went, I'm interested in this, and I literally had nothing to do. It was weird. It's the first Saturday we didn't have soccer, we didn't have anything. I walked down. I walked down and talked to my wife in the morning.
The fucking hypocrisy.
I know
it's occurring on this podcast
I felt
right
dirty
now.
turning it on. I really did because I knew that in turning it on, what I was doing was filthy, and I felt.
I'm about to call you out on your hypocrisy a little bit later too, but we'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and pump the brakes on that one.
So this is again. I want to point out this is our first week without soccer, without softball, and not at both points that you're going to point out. I felt filthy. However, feeling filthy. I did have a nice, beautiful cup of coffee. The sun was shining and it was beautiful outside. Windows open. God, it was gorgeous. What a gorgeous day.
Yeah, that's probably why I got the sniffles now.
What a beautiful day to watch a wrestling show. Anyway, so I turned it on to watch Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. And oh my God, did they ever phone it in?
Yeah, what a fucking train wreck that thing was, man.
It wasn't a train wreck. It was
God.
Like Bobby gets him into a hurt lock. Brock falls down onto Bobby. Somehow that's a pin. Didn't look like a pin, but somehow that's a pin. Okay, what was that? 8 minutes? 6? Like, well, I was like, oh, this is going to be a quick one. All right, I'll just leave it on, and I just left it on. Shout out to Bayley and Bianca Belair for having one of the better matches. I was watching my only other like highlight thought before we get to the main event, because we need to talk about that, was as I was watching the Judgment Day versus the OC.
The only thing that I could think of during that was, man, Carl, you probably could have had a much better match in Japan.
He definitely could have had a much better match in Japan. So my thought in while I was watching that is, I feel like I've seen this on Raw. Did I see this on Raw before? And like, I kind of was like, I lost track of the match for a little bit, and I Googled it, and I'm like, oh, I actually didn't see this specifically on Raw, but what I saw on Raw was actually the better match, which was Finn Balor versus AJ Styles. Although the finish, exactly the same. If I'm being fair, finish, exactly the same.
All I'm saying is, Dominic Mysterio is really coming into his own right now.
Yeah, but he's not. Inserting him into a match doesn't make Finn Balor versus AJ Styles better.
No.
Like, it was clearly a worse match.
But I mean, what was it? Didn't Dominic have a match with Carl Anderson on Raw a couple weeks ago? It was a good match too.
It was fine. Yeah, Carl Anderson's great. Look, I'm not knocking Anderson, Gallows, or I'm not knocking anybody else who was involved in this match. I'm just saying that a 3-on-3 gets way less people over than AJ Styles versus Finn Balor, which is kind of a dream match.
Yeah, but it gets 4 more people paydays.
Good for them. They don't pay me, so fuck them.
Hey, so what? You don't want to talk about Cross in your wet dream, Drew McIntyre?
That was a wet fart, is what that was.
Yeah, well, I mean, Drew McIntyre had 104-degree fever.
Yeah,
when
he
went
was
out
sick
there.
as fuck, and you could tell going into it. Drew coming down looked bad. I was like,
yeah.
"What's wrong with like?" Drew came down and like he looked a little gray.
Yeah.
I'm like, "What's wrong with Drew?"
Yeah.
He looked like he was. I'm like, "Damn, Drew is selling awesome, climbing this mountain." Like, no, Drew is sick as fuck right now. I didn't find out till after I watched the.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't release it
Yeah.
until afterwards.
I found out, I'm like, damn, Drew is selling the shit out of this climbing the thing. But no, and it was so I think that was really more unfortunate than anything else because Drew was sick, because I think that really would have been the other banger in this show. I like how they kind of kept both men strong, where it was just like Charlotte.
Really, you got that out of that?
Well, Charlotte couldn't get the thing unlocked because she had locked it the first time. It was her fault, so it was a misstep from Charlotte.
Okay.
And like, so while there was a misstep, and Karen Cross was like, "What the fuck?" Drew like crawled back from the dead and climbed the thing and fell over the like that was, I mean, was it? It wasn't. It was. You make fun of me, but it was fine.
No, like listen. So I just find it interesting that that's how you saw it, right? Because like I didn't really necessarily hate the finish. I mean, yeah, you even it out, right? 1-1. I think that's okay. But the internet wrestling community kind of saw it a little bit differently.
See, I didn't really look at what they had. What did they have to say? Because
so a lot of folks seem to think that Drew McIntyre going over means that they think Triple H is done with Karrion Kross.
No, I don't think that at all. I didn't get that at all.
So
I don't feel that at all.
So there's some argument out there that I found.
You mean to tell me they put these guys 1-to-1 in the WWE? You're like, oh, Karrion Kross is done. That is nobody watched WWE
there's
before?
There's compelling arguments there.
Oh, are there compelling arguments by stupid marks? Are they those compelling arguments? Let me hear some of these compelling arguments.
Hey, bud, we think we have compelling arguments sometimes too.
Yeah, but we're smart marks. We're not stupid marks. The internet is fucking chock full. Look, I don't want to toot my own horn, but
hashtag stupid marks.
Toot. We're fucking right more than half the goddamn time.
Yeah, in our opinion.
We're like, buddy, we're fucking right all the time. We like knock this shit out of the park. Like we're more right than Dave Meltzer is right. These fucking internet bullshit idiots.
Wow, you just
give me somebody else who puts out like non-confirmed like things as they're happening. Like I don't know what to say. I feel like as far as cutting edge understanding of wrestling, we sit there right on that edge of like we sit here on the edge of relevancy, and the rest of the internet sits back there and like the poop I took on the before I came out here to like fucking talk about wrestling and be right.
So the compelling arguments that I speak of are and thinking back at it, and I kind of agree with it a little bit.
Oh God, okay, here we go. Let's see.
So he doesn't really do it for the main event, for the main roster crowd, right?
Like, I mean, he probably doesn't, but they're going to give him a little shot at it.
He was able to kind of mask that in NXT, right? But like, he can't really do that on the main roster. So actually, he's 0-2 to Drew McIntyre now that I think about it, because the first match was a Clash at the Castle. So I'm dumb in 2 languages.
Wait.
So now that makes me feel like maybe this argument is a little bit more compelling than I initially thought.
TikTok. Yeah, I don't know. No, then he's 2-1 because he's definitely got 1 over on Drew. Have they met 3 times then?
Nope, they had the strap match and the cage match.
All right. Anyway,
got you thinking now, don't I?
But I still don't think they're done with Karrion Kross. Like, I still don't
Well,
think
I'll
they're
tell you
done
one
with
thing. He's certainly outside of that main event picture looking in.
Yeah.
He's not nearly as strong as I think people thought that he was gonna be when he re-debuted. I mean, us included. I felt like he was gonna mow right through McIntyre and be on his way up. I mean, he come out and he put the hourglass at Roman's feet, bro.
I really feel like he should have, like, how do I even put this? I really feel like they should have not put him with top guys, like not those top guys. You know what I mean? Like they should have let him beat AJ or something like that. You know what I mean? Like they should have let him beat somebody else, anybody. Kofi. They should have let him beat Kofi. I think when he showed back up, I think Xavier Woods was still hurt. They should have let him beat Kofi. Kofi wasn't on TV.
Throw his ass in the deep end and see if he can fucking sink or swim. I mean,
I'm just saying. I don't think that it makes any sense to let him beat let him beat Drew. I don't think him beating Drew makes any sense to anybody. Seth Rollins is out here with like blonde,
that's
clips.
2 weeks.
Like,
that's 2 weeks old.
Yeah,
The news is 2 weeks old.
I know, but they look like it's like they're clipped in. Anyway,
he had him at Sheamus's wedding.
I know, I saw that.
Okay, just making sure
Just
we're on
saying
the
he's
same
got the
page here.
blonde extensions going on here, and it's
Maybe they're not extensions. Maybe he actually got his hair.
oh, Judgment Day's here.
Oh yay, Judgment Day. Oh yay.
Anyway, okay. So Karrion Kross, is he about to be like fucking buried? I don't know. I don't think so. I just don't think that. I think he's going to have a prominent spot, but I don't think they're going to have much to do with him for a little while. Because where does he fit in at this point? I think he fit in when he first debuted. I think having him back is better than having him not back, but I don't know that he fits in anywhere right now in the whole TikTok. I don't get it. What are we counting down to? Because like now you've been beat a couple times, huh?
Counting down to Doomsday.
Okay, well,
like am I the only one that watches wrestling on that level?
I think so, because look, what are we counting down to? Beating having a guy get beat? Like it's still Doomsday's still coming, but he got beat. So what we're saying is they're probably going to put him with Bray Wyatt and have more confusing segments, or
confusing segments. Who? Bray Wyatt confusing segments? Is that what you're talking about?
That's all that Bray Wyatt. Yes, Bray Wyatt confusing segments. Yes.
I mean, they're fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, but they're still confusing. Like you can't tell me they're not confusing.
I don't think that they're meant to not be confusing.
I mean, sure, but that's what I'm saying. Like, is that where we're going with this?
I mean, he's a thinker. He wants his creative to make you think, and that's exactly what he's doing.
That's I'm not saying that shit. Who is
Pappy Van Winkle? Do we know?
Pappy Van Winkle? He's some guy that makes whiskey, right? Expensive whiskey, like $100 an ounce. Fuck.
It's good. I'm not gonna knock it, but no, like for real though, like who's Uncle Howdy? Everybody wants to think that it's Bo Dallas because you got a Bo leave, right? But like I don't know.
Like to be Bo Dallas.
When they click over, I always to that I always think about what you said whenever Bray first came back, and you said, "Hey man, I think Bray's gonna have to feud with himself." I think Bray's behind that mask.
Probably. Look, I think so too. At this point, I really do think Bray's going to have a little feud with himself. I think the internet is jumping on the Wyatt 6, and I think that it's too early. Like, maybe he'll have a little faction at some point. I don't know that it'll be 6 people. That seems a little ridiculous, but I really honestly still think he's feuding with himself. So I don't know. I don't know what's because it certainly seems like he's going to have a feud with himself. It'll probably be the last sort of like one of those like cinematic matches, right? I think we'll have to have one of those for Bray Wyatt to feud with himself. I think he's certainly. I want to see him give a Sister Abigail to the Huskus the Pig Boy. I really want to see that happen. So that's where I'm holding out on this is, but this is interesting. Seth's about to be like, I'm out. See you guys later. But I mean, I don't know. So is this where Karrion Kross is going, or is this going to be Is Bray Wyatt feuding with himself? To me, it seems like he's still feuding with himself.
Yeah.
But so I don't think that's the case. What are they going to do with Karrion Kross? I don't know at this point. Now that Drew's beaten him twice, I feel like he needs to move on.
And they're going to put him in it. And they're going to bury him.
Is Triple H going to do that, though? Because that's the other thing, is that Triple H hasn't done that to anybody yet. Is Karrion Kross?
Yeah, but what a fucking statement that would be if he brought his boy back, his like fucking pride and joy, shiny toy, and then just is like, go out there and get this fucking thing over on the big time, pal. And then he doesn't, and he's like,
dug a hole
done here, pal.
Dug a hole and threw him in it. I mean,
we're done here.
I mean, I would be honestly, that would be more shocking. Truthfully, he could have that actually might be more compelling television too, because then you could have that like break the third wall, like Triple H versus Karrion Kross type of feud, where like Triple H could literally speak down to him like he spoke down to CM Punk, in more kayfabe probably, but I don't know. Like that could be money too, but like that takes Karrion Kross out. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Some of it could be good, because some of it could be, go control your own narrative, you prick.
Oh, you went there. I can't believe
I did
that. Hey, speaking of, did you see your boy? There we go. You know what I'm saying? Just out here fucking talking about flippy flops, and him and Omos putting on a 47 5-star match, whatever the fuck he said. I really feel like he was just poking fun. I really, really do. But man, was there a lot of backlash on the old tweeter.
There was. Hold on. Do you know who just showed back up?
Oh, yeah. Who?
It is. Hold on. Can I? Is it Keith Lee's wife? Could it be
Mia Yim?
Could it be Mia Yim?
Been lots of rumors that was going to be a thing.
Could it be? Did Mia Yim? I only saw like halves of face. Is it Mia Yim? I think we might have just saw the re-debut of Mia Yim. Yes, Mia Yim. I see it. I see it in subtitles. She's back. Anyway, Mia Yim's back in WWE. I bet Keith Lee wishes he was too. Anyway, back to what we were talking about.
Braun Strowman running his
Mr.
mouth
Stro.
on the Mr. He got a lot of heat on that.
So I have the theory, and I've thought about this a lot actually. Please acknowledge. So I feel like Braun Strowman is a very stupid human, in the way of like saying like he just doesn't get things.
Did you just profile him too?
No, he's Kanye. Think about him
because he's a big bulky meathead. You think he's stupid?
No, I think he's stupid because of the words that come out of his mouth. So I think he's a very. I think he doesn't get jokes. I think he doesn't get sarcasm. I think he doesn't get like adult level criticism that's like sort of like poking fun. I think he doesn't think it's okay to make fun of him at an adult level, because as an adult, it's okay to make fun of anybody, even if they tower over you and could break you in half with their hands, because it's illegal for any adult to beat the shit out of you in real life. So I think there's a disconnect there. I think that he's kind of dumb and he doesn't get jokes. And I think when he doesn't get jokes, it makes him angry. You're not going to like it when Braun Strowman is angry or Adam Scherr is angry, because he just doesn't get it. He doesn't understand. And it's he has a lack of understanding other than eat meat, work out, eat more, take big poop, monster.
You are clearly profiling him because he's a meathead.
Am I wrong?
I mean, he's an entrepreneur, pal.
Of what?
He's got his own supplement company.
Of what?
Supplements.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
do they work?
It's called Meat Castle.
It's not just a t-shirt?
No.
Oh, shit. Does anybody else use these supplements other than him? Because I've never seen anybody else wear that t-shirt.
I mean, I don't know about all that. I just know that it's a thing.
But I guess if you look like Braun Strowman and like Braun Strowman's like, take these supplements, like maybe, and you're like, I would like to be a meat castle like this 6'8" fucking tower beast of a human.
Oh, so now you're picking on fat people.
No, Braun Strowman's not fat anymore. I don't know, man. Like, what do we? Why are we trying to like put me in a corner here and like fight me on like, oh, so now you're profiling this, now you're profiling that.
Hey,
Get the
bud.
fuck off of me.
Hey,
Get the
hey,
fuck out of here.
Hey, bud, Derek's not here, bro. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
okay.
It's not your fault.
Fuck off with
It's
that.
not your fault. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Fuck off with it. Okay.
I'm sorry.
You know what? I'm going to talk
this is-
about the marbly mouth.
This is Derek's fault.
Mouth
This is
Brits.
Derek's fault.
I'm going to talk about the fucking stupid meathead.
You did it
Braun.
again. You can't say
I
that.
can say whatever I want. Okay, I'm going to talk about the stupid meathead Braun Strowman who can't keep his own fucking foot out of his mouth because look how flexible I am, guys. My foot is in my mouth.
So listen, I guarantee, I agree that he put his foot in his mouth, right? But like, you know what really caught my attention on the whole thing? And everybody's focused on Mustafa Ali's reply to it. That's like, hey, can you teach me how to get fired? Because like clearly he's come out the last
Mustafa
several
Ali
weeks
got killed tonight, by the way.
saying he's not
Bro-
happy and this, that, and the other.
Baron Corbin squashed him tonight.
I thought he was going to answer the U.S. challenge, the U.S. title open challenge tonight. That was the word on the street.
Nah, Baron
Anywho,
Corbin squashed him.
Everybody's focused on that part of it, right? But like, I think what has really flown under the radar was pretty Ricky. His reply to it was like, "Don't ask him to get on a scale because he'll threaten to sue you."
So I really still like Ricochet, and
Yeah,
that
me
was the
too.
better that was the best comment actually of the of the whole exchange. I mean, it's real like Braun's really stupid, and it's really stupid to watch. Like him just say really stupid things on the internet, and then people dunk on him a little bit for being stupid on the internet. Because that's what happened. Look, if you're stupid on the internet, people are going to dunk on you on the internet for being stupid. And then then he like doubles down on being stupid. It's really hard because I like the guy. He seems like a nice guy. He just seems too stupid to be on the internet.
Let me shit all over this guy and then say he seems like a nice guy. That's like saying with all due respect, knowing full well that something disrespectful is going to come out of your fucking pie hole.
I just tried real hard, but he seems look. I didn't shit all over him. I question the man's intelligence. I continue to question the man's intelligence. Look, maybe let's get Brains Strowman out here. Maybe Brains Strowman has
my God.
Maybe Brains Strowman has something to put this all to bed. But Braun Strowman clearly needs to like lay off the Twitter machine. Unfish dicks Kanye West
fucking
himself.
Heel Tom is here.
Heel Tom is here.
You must be at the house by yourself, pal. Like that's the only
my
thing
kids
that
are
I
not
can
here,
think
and my wife is busy watching scary movies. I can say shit all I want about wrestling. I can be mean to all the wrestlers.
Goodness
and
gracious.
I can be loud a little bit about it until Rachel comes in and goes, "Shh, I'm going to bed," and it's fine. It's totally fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Fine.
But yeah, I mean, I just feel like he's like a guy who needs a social media manager, and he doesn't have that.
One.
No, he doesn't.
Yes,
You're lying to me. Well, then he needs to fire that motherfucker. Fire them twice. Because it's him. Because it's
him.
God damn it, Walt.
How's he supposed to fire himself, pal?
He needs somebody that's not him. He needs to hire somebody that's like, look, reply as Braun Strowman, but also don't let me see it. Like, he just needs to go to the gym and work out. He can take pictures on his phone and send it again. To that guy.
He just needs to go to the gym and work out because he's
God damn it, Walt!
You're
gonna make me leave. You want to do this podcast by yourself tonight? You want to be all alone?
Down, pal. You know,
broken home all alone.
I'll ask friend of the show, Pat Martin.
You want heel Tom to come out? You want super heel Tom to come out?
Yeah, where you gonna leave?
You're walking the razor's edge, buddy.
You're gonna
be walking the razor's edge.
Heel Tom equals non-confrontational Tom equals escape.
Okay. All right. What are we talking about next besides Braun
good.
Strowman being stupid on the internet, which everybody agrees with, by the way?
Escape. Oh no, no doubt about it. Everybody agrees with it, but I mean, Jiminy Christmas. Like, listen, I appreciate that he's out here, but you know what? Will Ospreay was right though.
You mean Marble Mouth Will Ospreay?
Oh,
Will
my God,
Ospreay.
he did it
Well, I'm
again.
glad he typed. Look, listen to me. Shut up. I'm glad Will Ospreay typed it out because I can't understand what Will Ospreay fucking says. Because before he puts a microphone to his mouth, he like takes a bag of marbles and is like, that's every Will Ospreay promo ever. Will Ospreay needs to learn to enunciate. Speak the Queen's English, mate. No, you don't. You speak the fucking marble mouth, bottom dwelling sewer rat English. Fucking learn how to talk.
Wow.
Learn how to fucking talk, Will Ospreay. You know why you don't make it? You know why you're not on an American television program? Because nobody can understand what the fuck you're saying.
You are feisty today,
I
sir.
am on fire right now.
You are feisty today, sir.
So, Will Ospreay, please learn how to speak and enunciate all of your words properly. Speak English in the way of the Queen. I understood the Queen. I feel like I would understand Zombie Liz better than I understand fucking Will Ospreay. So, I'm glad you can type in English. Please learn how to speak in English. Will Ospreay.
Liz. Too soon, pal. Too soon.
Not too soon.
Too soon.
Zombie Liz is very proper.
Oh my God.
I'll
Anyways,
eat the brains.
but listen,
Very proper.
Will Ospreay made a good point though. He was like, "Hey man,
Sure
why
did.
can't you just say, hey man, I made a lot of money and I'm proud of the chance to showcase super heavyweight wrestling." Like I think
I'm really glad he typed that because I wouldn't have been able to understand him had he spoken it with the word.
Sake. Okay. I'm just gonna keep shitting.
No, and fuck you and fuck Derek too, because Derek was like, "Oh, aren't these your people, Tom? They're like underappreciated." I'm like, the Brits are might be the fucking Brits. Get the fuck out of here.
You're taking this
the
out on
millionaire
me.
Brits. The
Okay.
millionaire Brits. Will Ospreay's got over $1 million. Will Ospreay's got 10 times like the amount of money that I've ever had. Fucking Will Ospreay,
Thanks,
get
Derek.
the fuck out.
Thanks, Derek.
Thanks, Derek.
Appreciate you, pal.
Thanks, Derek. I'm burying Derek here.
You pissed on his electric fence and then you abandoned me. You
Yeah.
know, like anywho, I'm gonna continue to
Please,
shit your Cheerios.
please.
So you had mentioned earlier about the Bianca and Bailey match. It was pretty good.
It was all right. The finish was okay. Bailey got trapped in a last man. I guess in a last man standing match, at no point did I want to see either of them beaten senselessly and to the point to where they just laid there like lifeless. And I didn't want to see that, and I don't think they wanted to see that in Saudi Arabia. That might have been a bad thing. So the way it worked out, I think, was probably for the best.
No, I thought it was okay.
Probably the second best match on the card, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. But the internet has come forward again,
God, I need to stretch.
and they think that maybe Triple H has given up on her too.
Who, Bailey?
Yeah.
Were they fucking high? No. Bailey's gonna get 20 minutes on Friday, at least. Are they like drunk and high and stupid? Look, anybody that thinks
Where's Derek?
Triple H is giving up on Bailey is bring them to me because they are
the line.
They are the stupidest motherfucker on the internet. Period. Period. Not only has Triple H not given up on Bailey, Bailey's going to be in another high-profile feud, and another, and another, and another, and another one. Get the fuck out of here with that. That's the we want to talk about the dumbest take on the internet. That's the dumbest take on the internet. The dumbest take on the internet. Who said that? Give me a fucking name. What motherfucker said that on? Because that's the dumbest take on the internet. Who said it?
Just see it in the forums, pal.
Who did CM Punk say that? Did CM Punk say that? Oh, it was Chris Jericho. It had to be Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is the only person to say something that stupid on the internet.
No, but it's
It
just
was
the
just
chatter
random no faces.
the chatter in the forums.
No faces. Okay, well,
Yeah.
fuck, these people don't know shit. These people don't know shit. Like, giving up on Bailey. What the? Okay, yeah, he gave him Sasha Banks too. Although Sasha Banks is coming back. Oh my god, he's gonna give up on. No, bullshit.
Derek's delight, I'm sure.
Bull fucking shit. Okay, that's all I gotta say about that. They kept Bailey strong. Okay, look, if they wanted to, they would have had Bianca just be like, "What?" Bang, and like backhand her like with a chair. Like, where is she? Up, boom. That's how they would have buried her. They're not going to bury Bailey. Bailey is one of the most cherished superstars of this generation. It's anybody that thinks otherwise is the stupidest person that's never watched wrestling in their life. They've never watched wrestling. They just assume they only watch AEW and read internet forums. They're fucking stupid. Anybody that says that is fucking stupid. It's the stupidest fucking thing that has ever been presented on the internet. It's fucking stupid. Let's move on.
Feisty Tom.
No, I'm not going to sit here and entertain the stupid, because I saw it too. I really did. It was the stupidest thing I saw this week on the internet. How goddamn stupid do you have to be to think that? Like, what kind of like fucking poison milk and lead paint chips do you have to drink and eat to think that? What kind of stupid shit-brained motherfucker do you have to
I mean, she got to go to the back of the line.
She's not even going to go to the back of any line. She's going to have 20 minutes on Friday. And she's going to be like...
she's on the Monday show.
No, she'll be back on Friday, too. She might be on time. She might have 20 minutes tonight. She'll have 20 minutes tonight. She'll have 20 minutes on Friday. Her girls are the champs again. She's going to be out here cutting that promo, too. Today,
hot potato,
Friday.
Hot potato.
It was a hot potato. Look, that was a mess, and it was continuing to be, but it continues to put Bailey on TV. That's all this does. I don't know that it gets Asuka over. I don't know that it gets anybody else over. The other 4 women involved in all of this, but it continues to put Bailey in the spotlight because she sits on a pedestal by herself. And if anybody thinks otherwise, I'm sorry, you just don't understand how television and wrestling work. I'm sorry. Oh, it's like, oh, yeah, they're totally going to write Rachel and Ross off of Friends. This is coming next week. The fuck out of here. Fuck out of here with that.
Hey, Tom.
Mm.
What you got in a cup right there, pal?
Oh, a delicious Founders Centennial IPA.
Where's the whiskey?
It's gone. I drank
because
it.
you're not very oozy without your whiskey.
I'm not feeling very oozy with these questions tonight, buddy.
Listen, pal.
I was feeling un-oozy coming in tonight, actually, after I argued with Derek. After Derek decided to be like, ooh, these are your people, Tom. Look, Election Day is tomorrow, and I'm about to fight some motherfuckers on Election Day.
I'll tell you what, I need some fucking whiskey.
Get at it. What the fuck you doing? Were you just chilling here like trying to poking a bear over here? You poking me?
Hey, bud. I'm
fucking Jeep hat like you fucking like.
I'm just having conversation that is relevant to the professional wrestling world this week, okay? It's not my fault. It's not my fault. All right, that you don't like the keg of beer that it's coming from. All right.
The internet is the keg of beer the internet, because they've pissed me off this week. Not just with wrestling. It's been the internet has decided that they have their own narrative this week, and I'm like, oh well, let me try out. Let me question that narrative. Let me not even control the narrative. I'm just trying to question the narrative. And every time I've questioned the narrative, 1, it's been met with hate and vitriol. 2, I find that the narrative of the internet is full of stupid shit idiots. So Elon Musk bought Twitter, by the way, so apparently all the stupid shit idiots are back out of the wall. News at 9. Anyway, what do we got next? What's next? More stupid shit idiot stuff? Let's talk about it.
Well, I mean,
let's get oozy with it.
We got to talk about the
Getting
news that has the internet abuzz this week. Coming out of Saturday at Crown Jewel. And that would be Logan Paul versus the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns.
Oh, this is actually a shiny diamond, eh? So you and I talked about this beforehand, like how good of a booking was. Like, this is a great booking.
Yep.
Because one, Roman's going to win, but two, they're going to make a spectacle of this. And as I alluded earlier in the show, oh my God, were we right? Walt, did they like line that, and did we knock this out of the park? Was the internet wrestling community, those shit idiots, were they like, this is gonna suck and blah blah blah? But however, did they just tee up a fastball that they cracked out of the park? And it was fantastic. Look, we knew Roman was gonna win.
Yeah, the writing was all over the wall about it.
Like, let's be fair. We knew Roman was gonna win, but in Top Gun, was Maverick not going to win? In James Bond movies, is James Bond not going to win? But we still fucking watch this shit too. Oh my God. In the Ghostbusters movie, are the Ghostbusters not? Oh my God. Maybe the Ghostbusters will lose this time.
Who are you going to call?
The Ghostbusters, because they're going to win the goddamn fucking movie. Anyway. Point being, we knew who was going to win going into this. No question. However, did they ever put on a spectacle? Good Christ. If you have not gone out and just looked at the clips of like Logan Paul with his own cell phone doing a splash onto a table off the top rope, there is an incredible spot of Roman with a Superman punch cocked back and Logan Paul coming off the top rope with a punch cock. It's fucking video game shit. It is but it's a real life shot, and they caught it. It's amazing. I mean, the shots they caught, the angles they caught, the things they did in this match to make sure things were set up for the perfect angles.
You know what that feels like to me? That feels like Kevin Dunn having some creative freedom.
I mean, look, if that's the case, and he put all that together, the man is.
What about the drone shot?
Oh my God, the drone shots! The drone shots were incredible.
The one where, like, during the main event, when Roman put that stall choke on, and they were kind of catching their breath. I think that they had that worked in because they knew they were going to hit that drone shot, right? And it came up like up the side of the stadium, and then came into the stadium and panned the crowd, and then moved towards the action, and then a quick cut to the hard cam. Oh my God!
I mean, the drone shots and the cuts and just all of that was just like. I mean, clearly they had the budget to go. They were just blowing budget. Like,
well, yeah, because apparently the Saudi Arabian deal has generated more revenue than all 38 previous WrestleManias combined.
I mean, I'm glad they're all back safe and sound, but I think the risk of going there necessitates that, and I think that's the deal, right? Like. Well, we could murder your product if you come here. Like, everybody could die. Or here's a gazillion dollars. And they're like, we'll put our own
$1 but everybody could still die.
Yeah, it's like $1 gazillion, everybody could still die. And it's like, well, and you go to your wrestlers and you go, well, here's like $3 million to go each human. Like, and there's 50 people on this card. Here's $3 million cash money. But there's a risk of death, and especially for the women, like the women, they have to get like an extra mil. That has to be like, they have to be like, well, here's more to them, right? Here's your extra insurance.
I mean, they were up for like 3 or 4 days. They did like Special Olympics things. They did a thing with there be a star program while they were out there. And then they did the show. Like, they did a lot of like. good PR shit while they were
They
there.
did. And truth be told, as far as progressing, and here all, they're back. So the women are back. I see them here. They're in the ring. These women were there. They're in the ring right now, live, which is fantastic. And I don't care because this is a little too hot potato, and I agree.
Hot potato, hot potato.
Because there's only 6 women that anybody gives a shit on Raw, and they're all in a thing together, and that's the thing. But anyway, I mean, I can't say that at this point it's not the way to go, right? Like it's been the way. This is where you need to call me a hypocrite, because I still think these are terrible. I still think these are the worst idea ever. Although I realize it's made them $1 trillion, but still, I still think it's terrible. And
well, you know, I mean, maybe look at it from the eyes of the outsider and not the. Maybe they're helping create some change over there.
That's honestly the only saving grace that I have. That's my so it seems to me as though the shows become a little more progressive every time. They become a little more mainstream. They become a little more normalized every time, right? The women were still kind of in full bodysuits this time.
Yeah, Bailey had some mesh going on her gear, and I was like, "Ooh, is that a thing? Are you breaking the rules?"
I mean, I don't know, but MVP wasn't allowed to go because he was a Muslim and now he's an atheist, and that's punishable by death in Saudi Arabia. So he didn't go because they didn't want him to be scooped up, and he's very public about this. They didn't want him to be scooped up, pulled away. They weren't certain that they could that they could accommodate and be there to, give him the proper amount of security to where he wouldn't have just been splash hauled away. So that to me is very concerning. It really is, and that to me is sort of like, as somebody who has no faith in a higher power, and by no faith, I mean 0% faith. We are on a rock hurtling into nothing. I have no faith in any higher power, deities, anything like that. The fact that MVP went from being a Muslim to just no, like believing like me, basically now we're just on a rock spinning through space. How fucking lucky are we to be here right now?
Talking about this is simulation, pal.
Yeah, I mean maybe. I mean,
no maybe about it. If somebody like Derek gets to walk among us, okay, we're in a simulation. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I just think we're in some. I can't even argue that. That's.
Yeah, I mean, like, come on, man, like for real. So, but listen, bud, like I get what you're saying. Like you're looking at it from that standpoint, but the old saying goes, Rome wasn't built in a day, bud. And it's not. Like, as you yourself have said that you feel like the production gets a little more loosey goosey and things like that. You notice that the shows get better because maybe this is part of the deal. Maybe they are trying to help them, cleanse their image and help them become more westernized civilization. Who knows? It's definitely money. It's definitely money generated. 100%.
I hope. My hope is that in my children's lifetime, that they look to Saudi Arabia as a place where maybe they could go to have a wonderful vacation, where it doesn't matter that we're right now we look at it as like a hostile third world country.
Yeah,
my hope
not
is
third world.
What as a hostile sort of country that's uninhabitable by the Western. By Western humans, but like, I would not take my children to Saudi Arabia. Good God, no. Are you
No.
I would not take my wife to Saudi Arabia. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, there's that level. Like, would I take my family there? Like, and that has to be the thought of when you go. Would you take your wife and children to Saudi? No, you wouldn't. Absolutely not. Your Western wife in her non-hijab and non-Muslim fearing ways? No, absolutely not. You wouldn't, because you would fear for her safety. I might fear for my own goddamn safety in Saudi Arabia. And you say now, but like if I went by myself alone, fuck.
Yeah.
So
I just don't know how much of that image is sensationalized. You know what I'm saying? Like I've never been there. I don't know. I just see the things that I'm told to look at. You know what I mean? But anywho,
hopefully at some point that will be a thing of the past.
Yeah.
It's not yet, but hopefully.
But right now they're putting on banger wrestling shows, and we got Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns. Threw down a fantastic match. Fantastic.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about this main event, because this main event was, as much as let's go back to how stupid the internet wrestling community is, because they shit all over this when it was first announced. You remember, right?
Yeah, because you and I were like, hey, I mean, me as a wrestling purist fan, like I usually generally hate that kind of stuff, like where an outsider comes in as a title challenger, but this is an attraction show.
Yeah.
So like I was okay with the placement of it here, and I'm glad that we had it.
Yeah, and it was absolutely an attraction show. And like I said earlier, like we at no point did either of us think that Roman was in danger of losing the title. However, how good of a sort of spectacle showman is Logan Paul. Where he and Roman clearly being kind of one of the backstage guy who was like, all right, let's sit down, let's plot this out. Let's have let's have you do what you because
Roman gave him a lot, bro.
He gave him a ton, but Logan Paul's a fantastic athlete. So let's let you do everything. Logan Paul blew out his knee. Like Logan Paul's MCL and like ACL are torn now.
Yeah, possibly meniscus as well.
Yeah, so
which is kind of funny because Paul Heyman was on After the Bell prior to, and he was like, "Hey, what did the insiders do to outsiders back in the day when Alpha and Sika were there? They bend them limb from limb and break joints and tear ligaments." He said that exactly. Tear ligaments, and then boom, we're being worked right now.
I mean, I don't know that Roman did it on purpose, but I do think that Roman probably let Logan Paul do things on purpose because he knew it was a one-off. Like, he's not going to have to answer to this man on Friday. They're not going to have a match next Friday. This is a one-off thing. This is a spectacle Saudi Arabia show thing. Roman's going to roll into the next feud with whomever. And you know what? It'll probably not be until next year. But he rolled into this going, all right, get what you want to get in. I'll give it to you. And Roman is good enough to give people whatever they need, have the shots there. And, we watched the match. We've seen the shots. Does Roman look any less epic in fact, if anything, he looks more epic in most of these shots. Like it's a matter of like, I'm sure Roman sat down with Logan Paul and said, all right, let's plot this out. What do you want to get in? And he let Logan go wild. And he's like, all right. And maybe Kevin Dunn's sitting there too, right? Maybe Kevin Dunn's sitting there and going, all right, we can take that shot. We can get that shot. We can get that. Because that elevates Logan Paul too. Like, let's not forget that Logan Paul has his own career as an athlete, as a content creator, as everything else like that. All of this is yours as well, Logan Paul. You want this shot, the shot that, of you coming off the top rope and like this fucking Mortal Kombat looking, this is crazy. What a crazy shot that was. I mean, that's one of the best pro wrestling like shots of all time. And like, both those guys went. This was a great match. This was a great match.
It was a great match.
It was a spectacle match, but it was a great, and those guys went crazy. And at the end of the match, everybody looked good. Of course, Roman won with a Superman punch and a spear. There was a lot of other stuff that went on with the match. Jake Paul was involved. The Bloodline was involved.
I'm good.
That's it. It's over, right? Like that's it. It was the spectacle, and now it's done. But
was it over? Because I don't think that anybody gave that match a chance to be that great.
I wouldn't be against revisiting it at some point. Clearly, Logan's going to be not wrestling for a little while, 6 months or so. Not that like he wrestles more than once every like 6 or 8 months, but he's just not for a little bit.
I mean, what's he done? He's done WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and now Crown Jewel. So I mean, he's a tentpole guy.
Yeah, he's a twice a year guy. I wouldn't hate to see, and if he does stuff and wanders out to like torment the Miz at some point in SummerSlam next year, okay, all right, let's go for it. I think he'll probably miss WrestleMania. Maybe that's sad, but
yeah, he's definitely missing Rumble and WrestleMania, pal.
Yeah, he's gonna miss that. But I expect to see him at SummerSlam. Maybe he'll come out and torment the Miz a little before that. I think that's really where we are with this. I think it's a spectacle thing. It's unfortunate that he's gonna, because I think they would have had him on WrestleMania to do something. But I still think he's going to be recovering in April. But it is what it is. It was never. The fact that he made it this many without tearing something. Maybe he'll be back. Maybe he'll be able to be out and do something limited at WrestleMania. I don't know. But great match. I thought that it lived up to everything we sort of thought it would live up to. And kudos to us for being right.
Yeah. So, all right. I think that we're an hour and 12 in. I think that we've waited long enough and we've pissed off the AEW fanboys that I have inevitably made angry with the title of this show.
There's so much AEW to talk about, and we've been like doubling down on WWE.
Well, there was some things that I needed to, get out there, right? And you don't have kids, right?
That's right.
And I mean,
we have to work tomorrow.
Listen, I have an internal audit, and I have to be there at 6 a.m. for that, and then I have to travel afterwards for an event. So
why are we not doing this live in my house? So that you don't have to drive as far.
But
we should have planned this better.
I had the family thing today, bud.
Yeah, we should have. Yeah, okay, all right.
So this is the life, bud. This is the life. I probably won't sleep till tomorrow whenever I get to my destination.
Well, coffee is delicious. So
yeah, coffee is delicious.
Hey, if you want to stop by on your way, I got a cup for you.
Yeah, heard that. Appreciate it. Make it pretty good there,
There's cream too.
Anywho, we've been getting teased for a couple of weeks on AEW programming that the Elite are coming back, right? And then the Ring of Jericho champion challenges any former Ring of Honor champion, and Colt Cabana shows up. And your buddy Dave says that is a clear indication to the locker room that CM Punk is gone.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Colt Cabana was not Ring of Honor champion. Was he?
Now he was a tag team champion.
So it was any. Okay, so it wasn't just champion. Like. Okay, yes, because he was tag team champion. Okay, I recognize that. I was like, when that happened, because I watched this live. Wow, AEW was terrible this week. What a terrible.
You picked a shit week to come back in, but you know what?
You had been preaching that oh my god, they're putting on great shows. What good shows? They're putting on such good shows. And then I watched it and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
The hypocrisy.
What the fuck is this? Look, I'm trying. I'm really yes, the hypocrisy. Oh my god! Everybody says AEW's putting on great shows. Tom, you should really watch the show. Oh my god, it's so good. How you know? You really should watch it, Tom. So for a fucking month, I didn't watch the shit because it was garbage. It was fucking garbage. Okay, and then I watch it. I come back and it's like, oh, this is worse than I remember. How was it so bad? They put Marina Shafir out there with fucking Jade Cargill, and they were like, "Okay, go ahead. It's for a title. It's for the title.
A title that was nowhere to be seen on television until
No.
Nyla Rose
It
walked
was
in
on
this
comment.
picture.
The title was on commentary, which was just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, this is stupid. Why is this happening? Okay, wow. And that was just went. It just happened and it went. And like Jade Cargill sucks, and Marina Shafir sucks, and it was so bad. And like, then they were like, "Oh my God, Britt Baker is going to be on with Saraya," and then she wasn't. It was just Saraya, and like the gist of that was like
Saraya
was like, "I need to get another doctor's opinion." Are you fucking kidding me? Look,
yeah, that was.
I don't
Baker.
look. I'm sure
She's talking about
Dr. Nick.
Britt.
Look, I'm sure. Oh, it's Dr. Britt. That's the okay.
Because
still,
Britt wasn't there. She said, "I'm gonna go. I have to get another
except
doctor's opinion."
Britt was
Meaning
there.
she was going to go have a fight with Dr. Britt because she didn't show up. She had to get
So it was about her teeth, huh? It was all about her teeth.
Oh, goodness gracious!
About her teeth. It's about her teeth, then. Yeah.
No,
okay.
no.
Dumb. Look, I got it. I got the joke. Okay. It wasn't one. It wasn't funny. Two. I'm still pretty sure only Dr. Nick, hi everybody, has cleared her. Okay.
She was on somebody's podcast, and said that Dr. Maroon in Pittsburgh actually gave her a clean bill of okay.
Hi everybody. Look, when she dies in the ring and I fucking cry about it, hard, cold tears, I'm going to be pissed at every one of these motherfuckers because this is probably not right.
Dr. Maroon's also the guy that cleared Edge. He cleared Daniel Bryan.
Hi, everybody.
He's the most respected brain doctor in the entire world.
Well, I don't know about brains, but what about spines?
Yeah, that's apparently working, pal.
Apparently,
he's a neurosurgeon, bud.
But it's this thing. It's not this. It's this, not this.
Okay,
clear the brain. Look, I'm glad the brain is clear, but if she becomes a quadriplegic, I don't want to see it happen on live television. I can't. I don't want to watch somebody become paralyzed on TV. I feel like I've seen it too many times. I watched Owen Hart die. Like I've seen it too many times to be in this exact specific situation yet again as a wrestling fan. It just doesn't feel. It gives me more anxiety than it gives me like.
Hey bud, I get you, and I'm going to continue to have this argument with you every single time it gets brought up. I don't want her to get hurt either, but you know what? It's not our life to live, and if this is what she wants to fucking do, pal, like I don't know, I don't. That's good enough for me, bud.
So what do? Do I not watch it as a fan because I want to see Saraya? Do I want to see Paige wrestle again? Yeah, I love Paige. Love heart, big heart. Big heart. Love. I don't want to see her die on television.
I mean, nobody wants to see that. She doesn't want to see that. She doesn't want us to see that. But you know what? At the same point in time, if she feels like she's healthy enough to compete, she's gotten the proper clearance that she needs to get, and she has the will and want to get in there, who in the fuck are we to tell her she can't?
Nobody. We're nobody. But for Christ's sake, please pick the right opponents. For The love
Well,
of God.
I mean, starting out with Dr. Britt, who did not look good on Friday night in Rampage, that's for certain. I don't know
I
what's
watched
going
that
on
after
there
you
either.
told me Rampage was good. So I
Rampage was
watched
good.
Rampage. I
It
put
was
it
better
on.
than Dynamite.
That's a low bar. It was a
It
low
was
bar.
the better AEW show this week.
I mean, like the bar was low.
The
It was.
bar.
Look. I'm going to point out there were two things that happened on AEW television this week that were good, and both of them involved Samoa Joe and Wardlow.
Say it right.
War Joe.
There you go.
That was it. Okay. So
Wait.
I mean, I guess Ring of Honor television is very good because we could put Samoa Joe and Chris Jericho on Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor television. Ring of Honor is really much better than AEW, if we're being fair. Because FTR was also out on Friday. Ring of Honor is killing it, right? Ring of Honor is way better than AEW. But what the fuck is going on with AEW television? What the fuck? AEW sucks. Ring of Honor is probably pretty good, but AEW sucks. Like anything that's pure AEW, it's like it's either Wardlow or it's terrible. Or it's Wardlow, Mox, or it's terrible. What the fuck is Brian Danielson doing? Good God. How's Brian Danielson just like guy who wrestles good, who like likes to come out and harass guys about wrestling good? That's not a fucking like gimmick.
Because he wants to wrestle good. He didn't give a fuck about being a gimmick these days, pal. He just wants to put on good matches.
But he ain't even doing that. He's putting on mediocre matches with mediocre opponents.
Bro, I don't know what you're talking about. You didn't see it 2 weeks ago, but him and Sammy Guevara tore the fucking house down.
Sammy Guevara is this.
Yeah, you know what? And generally, I agree with that, and I love Derek. His favorite wrestler this week is whoever punches Sammy Guevara. I fully believe that. I understand that. But Sammy Guevara, fucking Daniel Bryanson, fuck, I did it again. Bryan Danielson had a banger.
Oh, so you're saying he pulled the soul out? Like nobody's questioning whether or not Sammy Guevara can go. But Sammy Guevara, like his presence, like sucks. It just he shows up and it's like, man, I wish this guy wasn't this guy.
Yeah.
I wish he wasn't who he was.
I hope they actually give Ricky Starks a fair shake. That's what I hope.
Yeah. I mean, Hobbs, I didn't know how much I wanted Hobbs versus Wardlow, but I'm going to get that. So,
Yeah,
with that. I want that.
Listen, the stories are there, bud. Just got to connect the dots a little bit. It's not
it's like there's a blind guy trying to connect these dots though, and he's holding the pen like this. He's like, this is how we're trying to connect the dots in AEW.
Or maybe he's just an old, angry, guitar wielding young man.
No, I actually think he's a guy with a weird afro whose voice breaks a lot when he tries to talk to the crowd, and he's doing a lot of cocaine, and there's no booking, and there's like wrestlers trying to get themselves over, doing their best, doing their absolute best, and like he's like Tony's back like, okay, yeah, no, I haven't slept in 3 days, but yeah, okay, let's talk about like we just like Tony needs to settle down, needs to hire some people to help him, maybe needs to get off the cocaine.
He did hire somebody to help him. He hired Jeff Jarrett.
Good. Okay, so like that's a start. I mean,
what an underwhelming fucking surprise! Right?
This is where we're going here.
Tony Khan comes on Busted Open Radio, and he's like, oh, it's got the biggest announcement debut fucking surprise ever in AEW history. And I'm listening to this, and I'm like, hey bud, if you're trying to fucking sell me Christian Cage again, I'm gonna stab you.
It was worse than that. And Christian Cage was a bigger debut than this. Oh God.
And he gave me Christian Cage Part 2. fucking Jeff Jarrett, dude, he lit Darby Allin up. Darby was cut from the back of his head because Darby was just like, and then had to like lean into it. It was bad, bad piece of business.
It was. It really kind of set the tone because that happened like 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
And it really set the tone for me for the rest of the 2-hour show. And it was just like, after that, it just got cringy.
Right. But how about the fucking, the dude, the fake Sting, right? And it's like, oh my God, oh my, I'm like,
how did they go? How did they re-sign Jeff Jarrett and do fake Sting in the same show?
Who the fuck is this? The fuck is this?
It was terrible.
And I wasn't the only one. The live crowd was just like, huh?
The live crowd was dead. They died for this. The show died. And the show, like this show got 800 and whatever 90 viewers. Like it went. And if you look at the hour by hour, like it plummeted. Just what a rotten show. And they're going to do worse numbers next week because of how rotten the show was. And what a rotten program AEW has become. It's become such a rotten program. It stinks. It fucking stinks. And it's I want AEW to be good, but it stinks. Like Ring of Honor seems to not stink, but like Ring of Honor is inserted into this really stinky AEW butthole that is unwiped. It's terrible. It's just a terrible mix of stuff. There's like, oh hey, I've got like the semblance of what could be a good milkshake, but like maybe somebody pooped in it. And that's every Wednesday night. It's like, hey, here's a milkshake, and we're gonna, but there's maybe a turd in here too. And there's always the turd. There's always a turd.
Bloop, 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 bloop.
No, it's gross. And it's not even, it's really like Marina Shafir and Jade Cargill this Wednesday was really the sort of the culmination to me of how bad AEW has become, because that was the only women's segment. And then they had all of the good women be together on Friday and have a match. But it's like, we're really doing this still with Jade. Like Jade still can't wrestle. We're 2 years in now. It's too much. She needs to drop the title. Like she needs to drop that mid-card title. It's too much now. She's not this weirdly dominant champion. It's like she's really bad. They only put really bad people with her. Everything that happens with this title is really bad, and it's really bad. And now they've got Nyla Rose, who has stolen it and hangs out on commentary while really bad matches happen. And it's really bad. It's not like I wish Jade was good, but Jade is not good. I wish Jade's opponents were good, but they're not good either. And none of this is good. Nobody in this sphere is good. This is like 24/7 championship, but worse. Like it's people who would maybe trip over themselves and tear everybody else's meniscus on the way out. It's really bad, and it really needs to stop. It's like this is the bottom floor, and I feel like it goes low. There's a basement, and it's like we've hit the bottom floor this week with this title, and there's a basement, and that's next, and it's gonna happen, and I just can't. I can't anymore with this. Like this, it needs somebody, anybody, literally. I don't like. How did Athena not take this title? Put it on Athena, please. Like there's no way she can't do better with this. Put it on Athena and let her like fight the baddies. Like that's I don't know. I got nothing. It's so bad. Everything AEW is so bad, and they're about to have a terrible video game release. It's going to Xbox Game Pass day one, which is great because I don't have to buy it, but I'm gonna play it and I'm gonna go, oh my god, this is awful. Oh my god, how is this so half baked? There are 8 people on this roster. It's gonna be like the original Mortal Kombat, but there's gonna be like palette swaps. It's gonna be really bad. Everything's rolling up 0. with AEW right now, and AEW sucks, and I hope they prove me wrong. Hence,
Well, they are going to prove you wrong because the Elite's
Oh, I
about to
hope
come
so.
back.
oh, that'll save them. That'll save them.
In a lot of people's minds, it will.
I hope so. I hope. I mean, maybe it's become so bad to me that like Kenny Omega will come back, and I'm like, oh my god, Kenny, the savior of AEW. Only because it's so goddamn bad. I don't like Kenny Omega.
But
To me, AEW right now is a 1 out of 10. It's
because you didn't watch the last 3 weeks.
Buddy, I watched a little bit, and I watched the whole last week. It's a 1 out of 10.
Bud, you missed some really good shows.
Look, Ring of Honor is good. Ring of Honor is a solid 6, but Ring of Honor is not AEW. AEW is a 1 out of 10. And if they want to sign Ring of Honor and have a Ring of Honor show with Samoa Joe and Claudio Castagnoli and, Chris Jericho, for fuck's sake. I just shit on Chris Jericho. Okay.
I told you, Jericho's the puppet master behind Ring of Honor.
Maybe that's a show worth watching, but the AEW show is Lee Moriarty, who faced off against Jon Moxley and got more in than he should have, but still got his ass beat. I feel like Lee Moriarty should have pitched for the Pirates in the 90s next to John Smiley. And it just terrible. Just terrible. Just terrible.
Hey, so Dan from Death with Dogs said, I think every segment on Dynamite had the stuff going down interrupted by someone's theme music coming out for the save. Yeah, there was a lot of that.
I mean, it was so. I don't know that I've ever watched a worse wrestling show, and I watched it today during work. I don't know that I've seen a worse wrestling show, and like even when like Raw or SmackDown were bad, and like they threw back and they were just constant updates and constant like, here's what you missed, and that was like an hour of the show. This was so bad. It was so. I can't. I don't know that I can even stomach how bad. It was so bad this week. Bro, so bad. It was this might have been the worst.
They've put on worse shows than they did on Wednesday. I just don't understand where the hate comes from.
But it was so bad.
It wasn't good. I'm not sitting here saying it was good, but they've had worse shows.
Look, here's the thing. They don't have the leeway to put on a show that's this fucking bad. This is so bad. Like, they put on worse shows, you're right, when Raw was terrible and when SmackDown was sort of a recap show. They put on worse shows then. This was still so bad. This was like, I can't even believe how bad this show was. Like, because I haven't watched in a couple of weeks, and you were like, it's really good. It's been good. So I put it on today. I'm like, all right, well, let me catch up. So this was the worst 2 hours of television I've seen, and I watched. This was so bad. It was just. I almost shut it off a few. I paused it a few times just to be like, are we serious about this? Is this really what's happening? And then I'd like get a like email, and I'd answer an email, and I'd do a thing with work, and I hit the play button. I'm like, I'm gonna get through this. I'm going, and as it got going, and it got worse and worse and worse and worse. I'm like, who even fucking books this shit? What? Like, they should just literally this show was so bad. Like, they should just cancel AEW. It's how bad it was. No, so bad. No. 0 out of 10, and it's so terrible. It's just fucking terrible is all it is. It's terrible. It's a terrible product. Terrible. I'm not watching next week. It's terrible. Terrible product.
Okay. Well, it's probably gonna be a good show then. So just keep not watching so that I can.
I'm
just
gonna
keep
not watch.
reviewing
Hopefully,
shows.
maybe if I don't watch, maybe it'll be a good product. This is a terrible product. This is the worst television show on TV. Period.
Like I just don't understand. I just don't like. You know,
How do
you
you not
watch it
understand?
for,
Did you watch this week? It was
yeah, I
the
did.
worst
It
show
wasn't a good
I've
show.
ever.
I
It's
already
the
said it
worst
wasn't a
show
good
I've
show.
ever seen on TV. I haven't watched the last show. The last AEW show I watched was the second worst show I've ever watched on TV.
Well,
And
then
this
you
is
know
now
what
the
it is.
number
You're just
one
sitting there
worst
sipping on the
show
haterade.
I've
That's what
ever
this
watched.
comes down to. I don't. I'm starting to believe that you don't want them to succeed. That's what I'm starting to believe. I'm starting to believe that you're a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Why do I turn it on to the worst show I've ever seen on television? Something like I want to spit as I'm watching because it's like literally making me like kind of want to throw up in my mouth as I watch it. Every time. Like this isn't new. And so like I feel like I didn't watch for a long time, and then I turned it on and I watched and I'm like, this is awful. Oh my god. And it never got better. In fact, it nosedived hard. And like the best segments were like, hey, let's watch Ring of Honor, which Ring of Honor has always sort of been like, mid, but like everything else around it was like gag inducing. So if you're not guessing, like my match of the week does not come from AEW. These fucking choke monsters.
Because you're a fucking hater. That's all that comes down to.
I wish I wasn't, but fuck that.
That's all it comes down to. I mean, are you done shitting all over fucking AEW?
I am done, but there's always next week.
I mean, but how are you gonna know? Because you're not gonna watch it. So Derek and I'll just talk about it. It'll be fine.
That's great.
It'll be fine. Like I just don't. I don't know what else you want from them. They're trying. They're struggling to find an identity right now, and like I just don't necessarily know that anybody that wants them to succeed, wants them to be good, can see that, because everybody's just like, it fucking sucks. They're trying to figure out what works. Like they're throwing shit at the wall. They know that they didn't have legs on what they thought that everything was going to be built around. He knows it. He sees it. He's throwing shit at the wall right now, trying to see what sticks.
Everybody saw it before.
Trying to find an identity.
Bullshit. Everybody saw it before they tried this, and it. Look, they are right now reaping the consequences of their actions. They're getting what they deserve. They're reaping what they sowed, and this is exactly what they had coming to them. Oh no, the consequences of our actions suck balls. Yeah, they do. And now you're getting it right in the face.
I don't even want to fucking talk about CM Punk.
Consequences of the actions. We got to talk about the game though. What about the game? It's coming to Game Pass.
Yeah, I saw that. It's great. It's coming to Game Pass. So you already shit all over the game. You already said that it was half baked and broken. Like,
it's gonna be half baked. I can't wait to glitch through the ropes. It's gonna be so fun to like have a Royal Rumble and glitch through the ropes and fall out of the ropes. Oh my god. Oh man, this is it's gonna be the most. I hope it's great. Like I hope I have so much fun with it that I just can play it for like 3 months and have a good time with it. But I have a really weird feeling that like there's gonna be like 12 wrestlers and like it's gonna be broken on release, and like they're really only coming to Game Pass because they ran out of money and they took the Microsoft Game Pass money offer. And I feel like they're just breaking even now on a game. And man,
can you imagine if this company goes bankrupt because of this business decision? Like, because I talked about it last year, at the end of their first fiscal year, whenever they were in the red because of the video game. Now, I mean, we're into year 3. And like, is the video game going to be the thing that financially dooms the fucking?
I mean, it still doesn't even have a release date, and this is video game number 1.
They sold pre-release hard copies.
They did, but it still doesn't have a release date, which means if you bought a hard copy, you have no idea when it's coming to your house.
Right, but they did that so that they could get the revenue to continue working on the game.
And then post selling these copies. Now it's going to Game Pass. This is what's the nail in the coffin for this game. And here's why. So when a game is bad, one, you don't see a lot of updates for it. Two, the pre-release goes out early. Before you see a lot of gameplay, before you get to try a demo, anything like that, you get to pre-order it, okay? Because when you pre-order it, they get money for that, okay? So, and we already know it went way over budget. Three, now we find out, despite the people who have pre-ordered, including Derek, pre-order it for Xbox, it's now going to Game Pass day one. Now, I don't know about you, but anybody who owns an Xbox and plays it regularly has Game Pass. Like if you have an Xbox Series X, which I do, it sits right there, or a Series S, particularly a Series S, which has been their highest selling console of the last 2 years, you have Game Pass. And it's because Game Pass is really good. You get to play all the Bethesda games. You get to play Skyrim. You get to play a bunch of Wolfenstein games. You get to play Fallout. You get to play a bunch of cool shit like that. You get to play Gears of War. You get to play Halo. You get to play all that stuff for your $15 a month. And you get to play it at 4K or, 1080p at 60 frames per second or whatever. And, but at this point now we're looking at it coming out. Okay, now day one on Game Pass. These games are either, AA titles, indie titles, or games that are being sent out to die day one because they need the money. AEW as a sports games particularly are games that are not sent out to die because there's licensing involved. That's expensive. They're not being sent out to die. They're not games that don't have a big investment. Games that don't have a big investment are games that are first party where the investment is internal. So when you pay $15 a month, it goes to the internal partner. It goes to Microsoft. So when Microsoft puts out Gears of War and you pay $15 a month to play Gears of War day one, you're paying $15 to Microsoft. When AEW, which is a huge multinational brand, has their first ever game go out, and it goes out to Game Pass day one for that Microsoft dollar, they've never had a game. What do you think they paid to them? They didn't pay big money to them. They put it out there because Microsoft wrote them a check, the check that they needed to push that game. Maybe, hopefully, they push it over the finish line and they put it a finished game. Cards are still out there. I don't know. This game could come out a broken mess day one on Game Pass, and it could get a 40 on Metacritic. If that happens, that might sink AEW. Truth be told. And after the show I watched this week, if they put out a 40, because everybody glitches through their, it's supposed to be the successor to, WCW versus NWO on the N64. But if they put out just a stinker, a broken shit game, that could be it. This could sink AEW. Is that where we are? Is this the turning point?
Maybe.
Are we the perfect people to chronicle the fall of AEW? I really think we need to just talk about match of the week at this point, unless you have something else to talk about. Good Christ.
I mean, I just don't know what the problem is. Tom, what's your match of the week?
Match of the week. Okay, so I have two. One, Rhea Ripley had a I don't want to call it a dark match. It was a house show match this week where I don't even know who her opponent was, but she went ahead and untied several people in the front row of the audience. She untied their shoes in classic heel work. And it was recorded and put on the internet. So runner-up is Rhea Ripley, who is better than everybody else and is more over than anybody else. Just killing it right now. Also, Rhea, before she came out for the Crown Jewel match, she came out and she said, paying tribute to Beth Phoenix because she has this like big like braided thing. It didn't really seem like it made a lot of sense, but she said paying tribute to Beth Phoenix, R.I.P. Rhea's on the run of a lifetime right now, and it's fucking tremendous, and I love it. However, Walt, I apologize because I'm going to steal your thunder. The clear match of the week is Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul. It was better than everything else. They had all the shots. Logan Paul blew out his knee. I mean, if we're talking about pro wrestling spectacle, it really doesn't get any better than that, does it? It really does. Like they just outdid themselves. Logan Paul got hurt in the process. We'll see him at SummerSlam. It'll be fine. He's a young man. He's a great athlete. He'll be fine. What a good match. What a spectacular performer Roman is. What a performer that Logan Paul is. It went the way we expected. Nobody expected them to win. As disappointing as sort of the rest of this week was with the lead up to this blood money stuff, a lot of the blood money matches I really feel like were lackluster and they should have been better. Particularly Brock and Bobby Lashley should have been better, but they weren't. However, AEW didn't come out swinging and trying to put on better shows either. And they stunk the joint up too. They stunk the joint up even worse. And I feel like I just went on about it for 20 minutes, so we don't need to talk about it more. But Roman and Logan Paul, they really put on a great match this week. And kudos to them boys. Them boys for going out there, putting it all on the line. Logan Paul blew his knee out. Great spectacle. Lots of great shots there. I know. Hypocritical. Go ahead. Burn me at the stake. Burn me at the stake. I'll bring the fucking nails. All right.
I just don't.
Walt, what you got?
I just don't understand how you can sit there and you can look our audience square in the face and tell them that wrestling wasn't good this week. There was a lot of great matches on television this week.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, please.
I mean,
enlighten me.
You have LA Knight and Ricochet was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, it was good.
Shayna Baszler broke fucking Natalya's face.
Actually, that match I didn't like, but that segment I like. So that segment to me really turns the like, am I interested in Ronda Rousey now? Like that was really to me like a thought of like, am I interested in what's because I don't count that as a match, right? I just don't. So for match of the week, I try to be a purist of matches, like pure wrestling matches. That was more of a segment to me.
Yeah.
But am I a Ronda Rousey fan now?
No, you're just still a Shayna Baszler fan.
I really am.
To be in that hemisphere. That's all that is.
Man,
that's all that is. That's a false prophecy. Do not follow that. Okay.
I really am a Shayna Baszler fan.
But what I need you to follow is the rewind button back to Friday night, and I need you to watch Gunther defend the Intercontinental Championship against Rey Mysterio.
Oh no, actually,
that was a banger.
So I mean, that was another one that I went into going. I mean, Ray's gonna die, and to be fair to Ray, he sold the shit out of that match. Gunther slapped the shit out. I mean,
listen, Gunther gave him a lot, man.
He did. He gave. Well, I mean, respectfully.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you can't not give Ray his spots, right?
I mean, that was like a 24-minute match, like
on a 2-hour show. But I mean, it was pre-taped. But man, yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I think that was the other match of the week, and you're 100% correct.
I mean, I know that's why I picked it. Like, I'm not sitting here saying that like I didn't enjoy the spectacle of Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul. Like,
just saying
Paul earned a lot of people's respect.
I mean, I feel like he should have already had it, but it was like that spectacle was just you and I had called it beforehand.
Yeah, 100%.
We
It
called
was
it, and we
exactly
were
what
like,
we knew it was going to be.
it was
100%.
delicious. And they, to be
But they
fair,
lived up to it.
and they were the only ones who really did, which I feel like really which really made it feel bigger, because everything going up to it felt like it dragged, and everybody phoned it in until it got to those two, and they were just like, no, we are burning this whole goddamn country down with this match. And that they did that, and it was like, holy shit, like, I didn't know. After watching the rest of it, they could have sort of semi-phoned it in and been like, oh, well, that was on par with the match that Logan Paul put on with The Miz at WrestleMania. And that would have been just fine, and that would have been exactly what I expected. However, just they turned it up like 12 notches, and they were like, no. This goes to 10. Oh, look, I'm doing a frog splash and like live filming it. Like, just, and the again, the shot with like Roman here and Logan Paul up here.
You're not getting any disagreement from me at all.
Holy
I'm just
shit.
saying, from the standpoint of the week-to-week product, Friday's title match,
phenomenal. No,
awesome.
you're right. You're right.
It was great. And I'm happy to have had it.
Stamp of approval, would watch again.
So one more little thing for us to chew on, and maybe we can talk about it next week. If it's even still relevant next week, but who knows, right? Well, I fucking forgot what I was gonna say.
What a good build up, and you forgot? There we go. Everybody can see my hair now.
Oh, I lost it again. I'm feeling very Derricky.
Bring it back. I have a mohawk.
You do have a mohawk.
I do. Look there.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little Derricky. Yeah, so before I look stupid for a third time, if you're here, please hit the like button. Greatly appreciate it. Check us out over on Twitter and Instagram at @1_fall WC. That's ONE. If you're here with us right now, anywhere, anytime, we appreciate the hell out of you. So with all that being said, thanks for hanging out. It's all love. We'll catch you next week. One Fall WrestleCast. Wow. But I don't know, like, where the AEW people